Inscribed angles. So an inscribed angle is an angle whose vertex is on the circle and whose sides are chords. So here's a picture of an inscribed angle. This is an inscribed angle. And remember, this is a central angle. So the difference is, here's the vertex of an inscribed angle. It's on the circle, and its two sides are chords. Here is our central angle. Its vertex is at the center, and its two sides are radii. Okay, so here's our first theorem. The measure of an inscribed angle is half the measure of its intercepted arc. So here's our inscribed angle, x. Here's the arc that it intercepts. That's the arc between the two chords that make up the inscribed angle. So that means x is 1/2 of 68 degrees, which is 34 degrees. And here's a corollary. If two inscribed angles intercept the same arc, then the angles are congruent. Well, that should make sense. If both these angles intercept a 40-degree arc, that means they're each half of 40, which means they're each 20 degrees, and they're congruent. Now, this is a really useful corollary. It says that an angle inscribed in a semicircle, that's a half circle. So if I draw any angle inscribed in that semicircle, guess what? It has to be a right angle. Why? Well, how much is this arc? That arc is a semicircle, which is 180 degrees. Half of 180 is 90. So it doesn't matter where I inscribe my angle, as long as it's inscribed in a semicircle, it's going to be a right angle. All right, here's another corollary. If I have a quadrilateral, that means 4 sides inscribed in a circle, then its opposite angles, so B and D, will add up to 180, and A and C will also add up to 180. Well, what happens if I have an angle formed by a chord and a tangent line? Luckily, it's just the same deal. It's going to be exactly half of the arc. So instead of an inscribed angle formed by two chords, I have an angle formed by a chord and a tangent. The arc that it intercepts is 80 degrees. So its measure is 40, half of 80. Okay, let's do some examples here. We're going to solve for x and y. Well, here's the inscribed angle is 20. X is the intercepted arc. Remember that the inscribed angle is half the intercepted arc. Whoop, getting ahead of myself there. Half the intercepted arc, so 40 is x. All right, what about y? Well, y intercepts this arc starting here and going all the way around to there. Do you see that? Here's the two chords that make up angle y. Okay, so that's 110 plus 40 is 150. So the measure of angle y is half of 150, which is 75 degrees. Okay, last example. So this 20-degree angle intercepts this arc right here, which is also the same arc that x intercepts. So that means x is going to match 20. So x is 20 degrees. All right, how much is y? Well, you'll notice that this is a diameter. So y is inscribed in a semicircle. So y must be 90.